Okay, October is about to end, and as it has been predicted, we haven't seen Apple event. The iPads have been released though, yet so far no sign of Macs. The main voice of the industry once again is Mark Gurman from Bloomberg, the same guy who announced there will be no keynote. In his latest newsletter, Mark gave a couple of more details about the latest remaining devices that has been anticipated for 2022, namely new Macs. Question for you, are you planning to buy the new Mac, and if you do, which one would that be? Please answer in a comment below. Hi friends and welcome to Digitalna channel. My name is Mark and this is your dose of latest Apple news, leaked information, tech rumors and reviews. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button and don't forget to enable all notifications so you don't miss the next video. I've recently reviewed few awesome PITAKA accessories for iPad. Check out the video as well as the links in the description and a pinned comment for their magnetic iPad stand with wireless charger and the next-gen iPad Pro magnetic case. Let's start with potentially bad news. Based on previous experiences by looking closely at Gurman's verbiage, you'll notice that it's quite specific. Before we got the latest iPad Pros and 10th-gen iPad, he already advised us with just days away, which was Sunday, 2 days before they've landed. Previous year, back in February, if I recall correctly, in one of his interviews while everyone was anticipating March event, he was saying that the new iPad Pro will be showcased in the upcoming months. And what happened? There was no March keynote, but the April one. This time Mark mentions how new Macs should arrive over the next several months. Let's stop right away. What means several months? Whatever it means, it appears that this goes out of this year and it may well be somewhat in the first quarter of 2023. God, I hope I'm wrong. There were other details and predictions that could support this claim. At one point earlier, Mark has shared how MacBook Pro models with M2 Pro and M2 Max chipsets could launch at any time between the fall of 2022 and spring 2023. Even Ming-Chi Kuo suggested there may not be new Mac Mini till the next year, while one of the reports unveiled that Mac Mini plans have been scrapped for this year, although this was about the M1 Pro and M1 Max models initially. Here comes something more concerning. At Apple's peak performance event from this year, Senior Vice President of Hardware Engineering John Turner said that Apple's silicon transition has
one more product to go, Mac Pro.
To finalize the move away from Intel without the word of Mini. Now in that scenario, Apple may simply discount Mac Mini with the Intel chip and that's it. However, if this is true, Cupertino Giant doesn't have to change anything. Once again, these are my personal conclusions that could be incorrect. The best possible turn of events to me is that we get those devices this November, which I've talked about previously in one of my earlier videos. But let's see. Feel free to share in the comments. When do you think we will get those new Macs? As far as details and specs goes, we really don't expect a lot from these new Macs for start. There will be more power under the hood, but new design changes have not been mentioned at all, nor some extra features. 2021 MacBook Pro models, both in 14 and 16-inch editions, have been revolutionary releases in many ways, with all new industrial line, return of the MagSafe, more ports, stunning speakers, new keyboard, mini LED display with ProMotion refresh, and now iconic notch became the trademark of how the next couple of iterations will look like and which direction Apple design language has taken. The only true improvement of the upcoming MacBook Pros will be the chip upgrade from M1 Pro and M1 Max Silicon to M2 Pro and M2 Max chips. According to Mark, the M2 Max will have 12 CPU cores made of 8 performance ones and 4 efficiency cores. If we are to rely on this info, we may end up with up to 38 graphics cores and up to 64 gigs of unified system memory. I guess we can now assume that the M2 Pro could have around 10 CPU cores, which would still be subtle increase from the base M2 Silicon, which is limited to 8, and has been featured in the new MacBook Air and legacy MacBook Pro, released earlier this year. I honestly doubt there will be price changes comparable to previous iterations, and that looks like a good news. The next Mac Mini has been subject of many rumors and false predictions for a while now. I think we've lost the count how many times we were hoping and waiting for the day of its introduction. But it didn't happen, and if my apocalyptic conclusion becomes real, we may still be empty-handed. As far as we know, the next Mac Mini lineup will keep its recognizable and after all this time still modern design, regardless if it was introduced around a decade ago. Similarly to the next generation of MacBooks, the Mac Mini lineup will get a specs bump in the form of M2 processor and eventually M2 Pro. Both of these will represent some kind of middle ground between the M1 model introduced in 2020 and recently released and much more capable Mac Studio lineup. As I've said in one of earlier videos, the new Mac Mini will replace the existing Intel variant, so it will likely remain in that price range, while M2 Pro edition will go a bit higher. I started this video with October's and I guess it would be the right way to finish it. We're 2 months away from the end of the year and we are still optimists that we could eventually see those Macs in November. I don't remember some December releases, although Apple did unleash AirPods Max out of nowhere at that time of the year, so I wouldn't exclude this as a possibility either. Mark Gurman also mentioned January as one of the alternatives, but I think it's obvious that he is not certain, which explains frequent changes in his updates. So that's all for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe, hit the thumbs up and turn notifications, because it would mean a lot for this channel. Thank you so much for watching Digitalna. My name is Marco. Talk to you soon. Have an excellent day. Cheers.